Hey people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well and in good health. Okay, right now we're on Mundo Obrero Workers World. So this article is about social justice and it takes a look at workers and oppressed peoples of the world. Okay, so this one you may be aware, right now there seems to be a war going on between Israel and Hamas. So this article is all about Gaza, some of the natural resources just off the coast. So let's take a look. So it says here, behind Israel's endgame for Gaza, theft of offshore gas reserves. Now, let's take a look at what this article's talking about. So in 1999, British Gas discovered the existence of natural gas in Gaza marine fields, which is about 20 nautical miles off the coast of Gaza at a depth of around 375 miles. So further exploration by British Gas through basically that succeeded in two successful wells, Gaza Marine 1 and Gaza Marine 2. Now, this determined the field could contain up to 1 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. Obviously, that is a lot of gas. Now, the Palestinian Authority was granted the right to exercise sovereignty over its own maritime territory by the Oslo Accords in 1995. 4 years later, following the finding of the offshore natural gas, the PA gave the International Consortium British Gas a 25-year, 90% stake in a license to explore, develop any discovered fields, and install the required infrastructure. Since at the time, Israel has consistently blocked this development. Now, in 2002, the PA approved British Gas's proposal to construct a pipeline to a processing facility in Gaza. However, the Israeli state delayed this development, arguing that the pipeline should run to an Israeli-controlled port and the Palestinians would have to supply Gaza marine surplus fuel to Israel at a far below market price. Now, when Hamas won the Palestinian legislative election in Gaza in 2007, Israel established a militarized naval blockade prohibiting further offshore development around the same time. Now, Yan Thetis, an Israeli gas consortium, challenged the awarding of the contract to British Gas, further delaying the process. Now, a year later, in December 2008, in total contravention of international law, Israel declared sovereignty over the Gaza marine area and British Gas closed its office in Tel Aviv. Royal Dutch Shell bought out British Gas interest in the Gaza marine field for 52 million in 2016, and by March 2018, a couple of years later, Royal Dutch Shell backed out their investment, leaving the PA to search for a replacement company to develop the field. So, according to a UN study, basically which is citing Palestinian natural gas reserves, a 2019 study by the UN Conference on Trade and Development identified existing and potential Palestinian oil and natural gas reserves in the West Bank and Gaza that could be developed for the benefit of the Palestinian people. The report cited the Levant Basin province comprising 83,000 square kilometers of the Eastern Med Sea with 122 trillion cubic feet of natural gas as one of the most important natural gas resources in the world. Despite the fact that this reserve lies under waters bordering occupied Palestine, Lebanon and Egypt, Israel claimed sole access and profit from this find. While the estimated volume of natural gas in the Gaza Marine is considerably less than the Levant Basin, its proximity to shore and lesser depth makes it easier and less costly to extract. In 2019, the UNCTAD estimated the net value of Gaza Marine natural gas to be around $4,592 billion. Energy and financial resources that could go a long way in addressing poverty in the region and pretty much, really helping Gaza to become economically developed. Yet Israel continued to prevent Palestinians from developing and benefiting from the natural resources in clear violation of international law that governs who has rights to these resources when a country is occupied. Now, renewed interest in pursuing development of the Gaza Marine field surfaced only last year following the war between Russia and Ukraine, the destruction of the Nord Stream pipeline, and sanctions placed on Russia that caused a global energy crisis. Now, joint meetings were held between Israeli, US, Egyptian, Jordanian, and Palestinian authority officials to discuss the project, which was then given the go ahead by Netanyahu following his re election. Now, In particular, President Joe Biden, that's the US President, and Egyptian government officials pressurized Israel to pursue the project. On June 18, Israel gave preliminary approval for the development of a gas field off the coast of Gaza, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claiming progress would hinge on preserving the state of Israel's security and diplomatic needs, and coordination with the Palestinian Authority and neighbouring Egypt. At the same time, Hamas official Ismail Rudwan told Reuters, "We reaffirm that our people in Gaza have the rights to these natural resources." 2 months before October the 7th, the Pentagon began building a 35.8 million troop facility in Israel's Negev desert, 20 miles from Gaza, allegedly as a radar site to monitor for missile attacks on Israel. The base is part of a secret US military presence in Israel, according to The Intercept. Then, since October the 7th, last month, Israel Prime Minister has made it clear that Israel intends to kill as many Palestinians as possible in order to pressure others to leave the Gaza Strip and move to the Sinai in Egypt. Netanyahu has been adamant in refusing to order a ceasefire to let in aid to stop the horrific genocide being carried out in Gaza. The people of Gaza are well aware, as their grandparents experienced with 1948 Nakba, the once Israeli forces removed Palestinians from Palestinian land, returning is a near impossibility. Israeli genocidal war in Palestine has not stopped the Israelis' region's plans for further oil and gas exploration. So at the end of last month, on October the 29th, Israel announced that it would award basically 12 licenses for exploring additional offshore natural gas fields to 6 companies, including British Petroleum, aka BP, Italian giant Eni. These awards show that Israel has no intention of letting the genocide it's carrying out against Gaza's people interfere with its ongoing theft of Palestinian resources. Now, indigenous land back movement. In many ways, the struggle of the Palestinian people parallels that of indigenous tribes and nations in the Western Hemisphere, whose populations were basically decimated over the course of hundreds of years of white settler colonialism. For many indigenous people in the US, so-called Thanksgiving is a day of mourning. In 1621, in an act of survival, the Wampanoag signed an agreement with the Pilgrim, but the European settler colonies broke the treaty and decimated the tribe's population, sealing their land in the process. Over the course of the next 400 years, indigenous lands were stolen by the European colonists. Indigenous people were either killed or pushed off their land and forced to relocate to reservations in an extremely cruel manner, believed to be on worthless land, often considerable distance from their original homes. Later, when their reservations had to be located atop vast reserves of valuable minerals, the land theft will start all over again. Centuries-long battle to reclaim the land stolen from indigenous people in the Western Hemisphere have been gaining momentum, along with calls for reparations with the land back movement. From Turtle Island to the Gaza Strip, indigenous people are fighting the settler colonial theft of their lands and resources. So that was an article, opinion piece there by Mundo Abero, Workers' World, and that was basically around Gaza and its gas reserves and what's happening to them right now. Okay, people, please do let us know what you think about this in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, support the channel by clicking the join button, support on Patreon, link in the description. Okay, people, catch you in the next one.